my goodness. Hello, everyone. I'm going to give you guys the opportunity to start coming in. Let's see. I see 4 people. Hold on. You guys, make sure y'all hit the like button. Hold on, y'all. As y'all can see, I finished early. Hey, you're just towing Clarinetta, True Aquarius, Michelle, Pretty Brown Eyes, Suave, Lil Mama. I came on a little early too. Finished early, got home, came on a little early. We're going to let other people start getting the notifications. Hold on. Ooh, child. Kimberly, Tyrone, Ashley, how are you guys doing? How is everybody doing? We waiting for more people to get the notifications and just start coming on into the room. Coming on into the room. I have about 3 topics that I want. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. You guys, take this video and hit the share button and share it on your Facebook page or your Instagram or whatever. Just share it on your YouTube or whatever. Hit the share button, share it on your social media so that more people can see it. Of course. Like, share, and subscribe. Definitely hit the like button. Definitely hit the like button. Hey, Miss Paula. Definitely hit the like button. I have 3 topics today. I want to talk about a man that is accused of unaliving a woman and his stepson. Okay. I want to talk about Big Boogie had broken down. I saw that on Street Politics on Player Cole's channel. So I'm going to play that from the audio from his channel. And then I want to talk about why did and we'll all be inclusive in this because I think it's a matter, since we don't know, of everybody's opinion. Why did Yo Gotti's and Young Dolph's beef have to get this far out of control, right? So we'll all be inclusive on that because, like I said, I think that's a matter of opinion based on what we see, and what we all see is our perspectives can be a little different from what we all see. I know what I see, okay, from what we've heard, what we, I guess what we think we know, and all of that. Hey, McName's. It wouldn't let share it on your Facebook page. Click the share button and share it on your Facebook. Copy the link and just paste the link on your Facebook. Like, share, and subscribe. Okay. I wanted to talk about in Memphis, right? There's a man that has been accused of unaliving a woman, and I do believe that he was dating the woman and his stepson. Let's look at that right quick. This is him right here. It says a man is in custody facing first-degree unaliving charges in the deaths of Sanders and LaBarbara Bryson. According to police, 33-year-old DeCarlos Sanders was found unalived on February 4th on the 2300 block of Douglas Avenue in Orange Mound. After Sanders was found unalive, family members also reported his stepmother, LaBarbara Bryson, was missing. Bryson was later found unalived on February 25th in the Bethel Grove area. This is her right here. It says before Sanders was found unalive, Bryson's Mazda SUV was also found on Douglas Avenue, heavily burned. A witness called the fire department on February 3rd. Surveillance footage showed a person standing outside the vehicle. When a flame moved forward, the Mazda and the vehicle went up into flames. Bryson's purse was found near the Mazda, and a black iPhone was found in the grass near the car. Investigators were able to use GPS to place Bryson's vehicle at Save and Go on Park Avenue on Friday, February 2nd. Surveillance footage showed a man later identified as Michael Wolf, who was seen getting out of the vehicle. Police tracked down Wolf, who admitted to being the person shown in the video, but denied setting the car on fire or being involved in Bryson's or Sanders' death. Wolf is charged with 2 counts of first-degree unaliving, 2 counts of aggravated robbery, especially aggravated robbery, being a convicted felon in possession of a handgun, arson, and tampering. Okay, so maybe maybe those two didn't know each other. So they're saying that he took out his stepson and then he took out a lady. Now, I don't know if he knew the lady. Let's see though.
Bro, I'm really distraught about them folk killing my cousin. Like, that was extreme. I mean, I'm really lost for words.
Travis Coleman is grieving the unexpected loss of his cousin, DeCarlos Sanders. According to Memphis police, the 33-year-old was found dead February 4th on the 2300 block of Douglas Avenue in Orange Mound. So far, no suspects have been arrested.
They took more than just my handyman, man. They took my family. They took a good friend.
Coleman says his cousin's killers left his body dumped and discarded in a pile of trash in an alley. Then 2 days later, tragedy struck again. Memphis police say officers responded to the same block on Douglas for a car fire. Coleman says the car belonged to 39-year-old LaBarbara Bryson, Sanders' stepmom. Loved ones say the two were reportedly last seen together in the car with others before Bryson's disappearance. Coleman says the family wants justice.
We need justice. On my soul, bro. Like,
okay, that's crazy. Okay, that's crazy. So maybe he didn't know it. The motivation was robbery. Hey, OG Snake Spotter. Hey, Kevin. Hey, Duke Main, Teresa. So it was the lady stepson. So he probably, didn't know either one of them. Maybe, So the motivation was robbery. But y'all, I think it's a shame that stuff like this is consistently going on. In Memphis. Okay. And I remember when that was reported. Okay. I'm sure that was around February the 2nd when it first happened. And it's unfortunate, that this man turns out to be the person that did this. I was intended to look at his history. The man that did it, I was intended to look at his history. But just looking at his face, looking at his eyes and stuff, you could tell that he's crazy. Okay. But I hate that, things are getting more and more out of control. And like I said, we talk about the young adults around the Memphis area. It's easy to talk about the young adults and how um, their misguidance and things of that nature. But what about the old adults? What about the older ones, like this man right here? You know, that's in his more. He looked like he's pushing 50. So if he's in his 40s or 50s, so what about him? Okay, because it seems to me that we're starting to see more and more older adults doing worse than the young adults are doing. So that's why I say this is sad, you know, on so many levels. Like as I was saying before, Memphis seems to be turning into the lawless city, and I know it's everywhere. I mean, more cities kind of hide what's going on in their cities, you know, from the media because they don't want to scare off tourists or whatever. They kind of just hide it. But and it's happening everywhere, but the spotlight is on Memphis. And so something has to be done. Maybe they did know the accused killer. Maybe they did. Maybe they did. I thought when I read it, honestly, that's why I was taking a look at that again. I thought that it was the stepson. I thought that it was his stepson, but actually it's her stepson. And in order for him to get that close to them, they probably did know him. They probably did know him. I'm gonna go back and I'm gonna pull up the affidavit a little later, if I can remember. But they probably did know him. Okay, more than likely. I'll pull up the affidavit in a few, and it may tell me a little bit more about it. I should have pulled it up before I actually even did the story. Okay, but anyways, I want to move on to. We'll go back to that. I want to move on to. I was looking at Player Cole's channel, Street Politics, right? And he had Remy, please. Remy, please. Lord have mercy. It don't make no sense for these dogs to be lazy and they love laying up under me. I was looking at where Big Boogie did an interview, and in the interview, I think it was the element of surprise when they asked him about Big Juke's death and CMG and all of that. And he seems to have gotten emotional. Shout out to Player Co. Shout out to Player Co. Hold on. I want to pull it up.
You know, like I said, I don't think he was. But we don't talk. I bet. So we took a picture and everything. All right, so keep in mind, Joe called me. This guy asked me what kind of food he like, and this nigga was like, hot. Y'all got some hot wings and pizza. And he was like, shit, they were eating oxtails and shit. And you know, I'm play some of this shit right fast. We gonna kind of do like a recap of what we went through. Like I said, I ain't gonna be on here long. Hey man, it's lunchtime, man. I gotta go get me some food, man. No cap. All right, we're gonna start that right here. I had to leave the show right to the airport. So whenever I went to the show, I had that on in front of Gotti. Some little short swim trunk shorts, polos, white forces. Cause you were where in Memphis? I was in Mississippi. I had a show in Mississippi. Okay. And they called because I was on the way back. They were like, I was leaving the show. And they were like, this Big Boogie, Rick's called me. You know what I'm saying? This Rick's, he's CMG too. This our big dog too. So he called me, he was like, what's up, this Rick's? This CMG Rick's. And I'm like, what's going on? All right, so keep in mind, Joe called me. This guy, the brother. Mm-hmm. Now y'all own me. Y'all sneaking up on me. All right, big. But the person, Sauce, that died, Sauce already told me they was coming. Mm-hmm. But it was a secret, though. They don't know that to this day, but now they know. but he told me they watching you keep going and like you. All right, then that what happened, and I started getting booked. Then that's when Joe came. That's when Joe came and told Gotti, when Rick's called, "Hey, I'm finna fly you to New York." I'm like, damn. I'm like, did he have the situation set up for you as soon as you got there? No, got him genuine. He went out to eat. He asked me what I like to eat, and I'm like, hot wings. Hot wings. Honey buns. Hot wings. Y'all got some pizza? And he like, they eat oxtails and stuff. They eat.
Yeah. It's the look on his face, bro. This shit funny as hell.
I got no hot wings. I got burger fries. They like, well, got that, but we don't order you that though. They opened me with, they welcomed me with open arms, though, the flowers, everything. And Gotti was like, he dropping jewels on me and everything. And he like, you think you ready? I'm like, yeah, I'm ready. I said, but I ain't ready right now to break the pen though. You know what I'm saying? I said, next time that you see me, I'll be ready. And he was like, all right, bet. And so we took a picture and everything. He had on all black, with a low haircut, just a rope on. And we was in New York, right in front of it was a little place we ate it. It was just me and him. He was gonna get on the screen. I said, bro, I want to take a picture. That's the first person I ever asked to take a picture. I don't take pictures with people. They take pictures with me now. I never asked a rapper to take a picture. I asked Youngster and got it. Is he?
Now was this a negotiation tactic? Was you like stalling because you wanted to be like?
Yeah, it was just like kind of like Kenny Adams was popping, when he getting to meet Gotti for the first time and hang around. And
let me forward.
Like I said, it was the girl.
Come on, man! Like you know what you got going. Right. You know what grind you on. Yeah. So why is you knocking yourself this way?
So you don't feel like there's no inherited beef or anything, once you sign a CMG.
I'm whatever got it with, bro.
Gotcha.
I'm CMG. I'm CMG, bro. Until another life comes. You know what I'm saying? Like, cause it is what it is, bro. Like, it ain't just about the money we got. It ain't just about who he is or whatever. Me and Gotti talk, but we don't talk. You know what I'm saying? We live life. Like, Gotti family is my family. Like, I love dude, he love me.
Speaking of that, I know we touched on it earlier, but how did you feel when Gotti lost his brother?
I know that was big for you because
he kind of he started you in it.
I saw your post too.
I love dude, bro. He's my dog, bro. Like, he changed my life. You feel me? So, I mean, I love CMG. I'm CMG, bro. Appreciate you sharing that.
Thank you.
Okay, so we see, shout out to Street Politics. We see Big Boogie seems to have gotten emotional. And you think about Big Boogie, and Big Boogie might be in his late 20s, right? And so that's what led me to why did it have to get this far out of control? Because we've had people to lose their lives, and even still, like Big Boogie, right? Who probably had no issues with either. Okay, I mean with Young Dolph. As a matter of fact, I'm told that Young Dolph had wanted to sign Big Boogie before Big Jook and them started looking at him. Right, that's what I'm told. Okay, allegedly. And when they saw that Young Dolph was courting the idea heavily of signing Big Boogie, because you have to understand, I hear people say that, people talk about, well, Key got cool with Big Boogie. Hell, they was cool before. Young Dolph was cool with Big Boogie. And I'm told that he had a relationship. He was actually heavily courting the idea and really wanted to sign Big Boogie. And then once Big Jook and them saw that, that's when they really, wanted to sign him after that, right? Allegedly, but it sounds about right. Okay, so Big kept it neutral the whole time. Yeah, and so I would hear people say, I wonder how this is gonna work out with them, because Key Glock and Boogie and them are really, really cool, And that's the reason why I say that it's really sad, because the interviewer asks, there's no inherited beef. And he says, on whatever Gotti is, even though it might not be in the beef with him, he basically just chose a side. It's obvious that they can't be neutral, and that's the reason why I say that it's sad, because I know he's signed to CMG, but hey, you're signed to CMG. And I guess just like with, people say, well, it's the same thing with Key Glock and all of them, but to me, and not that I'm sure, people always say I'm taking off of Key Glock and them, but it's a little different with Key Glock and them, because Key Glock and them actually lost their CEO. They lost their CEO to violence. Okay. And everybody already know where it came from. So, I mean, it's understandable to me why Key Glock and them would feel a certain way about certain people at CMG, but they still might not feel any way about, Big Boogie, but listening to Big Boogie, and hey, I understand, that he says that he loved Big Juke. Hey, that's understandable. They was over there with him, but he just basically said, I'm whoever Gotti with. We already know Gotti has issues with Pre. So does that mean that he has issues with Pre? And that's the reason why I say I just hate that it had to get this far out of control, right? Because you have young men like them. I'm talking about even on the CMG side, right? You have young men like them, when they decided that they wanted to do this to Young Dolph, they was pulled into this, right? They was pulled into it because their big dogs over on that label decided that they wanted to work together to unalive another big artist, another CEO, which was messed up on so many levels. And that's why I say, why did it have to get this far out of control? Why did they feel a need to take out Young Dolph? People argue and fuss and fight all of the time, but when you start violating people, okay, now you've taken it too far. And you could violate people in more than one way. But when you start talking about setting them up to be taken out, when you start popping at them, trying to take them out, you have definitely gone too far, y'all. You've definitely gone too far. So that's why I say, why did it get this far out of control? And I know that, people have thrown out, well, Young Dolph took it too far when he started talking about Yo Gotti's baby's mother. No, I think they took it too far when they started actively working behind the scenes to block a young man, right, that was working hard to get in the industry and doing it on his own. It's not like he was asking Gotti for anything. And this is just my opinion. At first him and Gotti was cool. He said Gotti wanted for him to sign with him, and he decided that he wanted to do it on his own. You would think that anybody would respect that. Hey, it might be hard, but if you think you can do it on your own, I support you 100%. And pat him on the back for even taking that up on his own shoulders. He explained why he had wanted to do it. So why did it get this far out of control? Why did they actively get about trying to block him? And I've heard folks say, well, they try to give Gotti excuses. Well, Gotti did it, but 3-6 Mafia did it to him. I don't like for people to say stuff like that. Right. Well, it happened to him, and that's the only reason why he did it. Well, just because it happens to you, it does not mean that you're supposed to try and traumatize and block somebody else just because it happened to you. But those are the excuses that I hear from people all the time, as if Young Dolph took it too far, when all of the time, just because Yo Gotti was not vocal with it, he didn't verbalize it. He was slick enough to get other people and pull them in, like Black Youngster, to be his mouthpiece, and to go to execs behind the scenes and try and block Young Dolph. Okay, I can imagine that it is very disappointing, and there's a lot of anger when you worked hard, as Mr. Ian said, and you think you got a foothold in something, and then come to find out somebody has gone behind the scenes to block a project that and blocking you at the radio stations and things of that nature. I think that was even worse than verbalizing something in a record about a baby mama or something like that, right? And I'm not excusing that. I'm just saying I think what they was doing to him was even worse, because what they was actually doing from the very start was trying to block his livelihood, trying to stop him from being successful. And once they realized that they could not stop him from being successful, they felt like the only other thing to do was to kill him. And that's exactly what they did, right? And so I think it's so unfortunate, because now you have artists on the CMG side. Because see, I'm gonna tell you something. I understand, and Player Cole in here, he probably gonna say, well, you just a paper route cheerleader. No, I understand how Key Glock and them feel. I do. They lost their CEO. I understand how they feel. And they're supposed to feel that's how they feel. What I guess I can't understand is why Big Boogie and them feel Big Boogie and them have inherited, because they feel they're forced to be abrasive. They're forced to be abrasive about Jay Fizzle and them feeling a certain way, because see, they might feel a little offended when somebody like paper route Jay Fizzle go at their CEO. Okay, well, I love Gotti, but paper route Jay Fizzle has a lot of emotions, right? And he has a reason to go at his CEO. Okay. And I'm not saying I wish that on Juke, because I don't. I hate that happened to Juke. But we already know that had nothing to do with Young Dolph's artists. They didn't do that. I do. I don't wish that up on any. Listen, the type of violence that is going on, especially when you're talking about Memphians, right? It has gotten completely out of control. And I was talking to somebody the other night, and it's funny, he was like, Young Dolph was giving back, and he was real free-hearted and things of that nature. He says, and people wouldn't believe it, but out of even though Big Juke was a shit starter and an instigator, he was more of a giver than his brother. He was giving back in the streets in North Memphis, and I think that it is very unfortunate, okay, that all of this has happened, because you got men that has built wealth for themselves, right? But even though I don't be wanting to say anything bad about anyone that has passed on, we all know what happened to Young Dolph, and it's unfortunate, but anybody that was involved in what happened to Young Dolph had to have understood that there was gonna be some karma. So you create your own karma and stuff. And I don't wish death on nobody. I hate that this stuff has happened. God up in heavens knows that I do. But a lot of this stuff is created karma that comes, he old school, sis. Gotta respect the game. Hey, rest in peace, Young Dog. Hey, Big Pat. Unfortunately, when those switches get to spitting, they can't tell who is just a rapper versus who is with the shit. Absolutely, I agree. Yo Gotti is a hater in his days. And so it all goes back, and even still, even before, Big Juke was taken out. I've always said this. It started with Yo Gotti, and none of this stuff would have happened if Yo Gotti had not wanted it to happen. Because see, I understand, and everybody in the streets of Memphis understand and understood that even though Big Juke was the big brother, he always felt like he needed to protect his brother, and he wanted to be in good standings with his brother. How many brothers go to jail and do time for themselves and for their brother, right? So that's the reasons why. That's the reason that I know that all of this, none of this stuff would have happened, especially as it relates to Young Dolph, if Yo Gotti had not wanted it to happen. It's just, it's just, hey, that bad karma has come back to hit him. Okay, because you have to reap what you sow. When people don't know how and control their jealousy, emotions, and things of that nature, you have to understand when you put that bad energy into the atmosphere. Hey, Shay baby, when you put that bad energy into the atmosphere, and you think that you're gonna live happily ever after by playing a part in getting somebody's son taken out or out of the way, or you think now I have free range to have my pickings, because that's really all that it was about. When Yo Gotti and Young Dolph could have coexisted together, even if they would have been beefing and throwing shots and stuff at each other, they still could have coexisted. By the time they start hitting at him, I don't think they could have ever made amends. I think people can be so unrealistic, and the reasons I say I don't think that they could have ever made amends, I can't blame Young Dolph for being mad, because the first time that they shot up his van, they had took it too far. I would never want to make amends with anybody that tries to kill me, right? I wouldn't. So even if they never would have made amends, okay, and I can understand when you attempt to take me out, I can't make amends with you, okay? I can't do it. But they could have been Memphians, right? That could have coexisted, and it's enough talent in and around Memphis, because Young Dolph had even started going to Chicago right before he was killed. He had went and signed a young man named Santana. Is his name Santana? Yeah, he had went and signed a young man named Santana or something from out of Chicago that has a really good sound, right? I think he kind of gets overlooked quite a bit. His name's Santana or Shatana or something. But that was one of the last people that Young Dolph, he was really, I think he was going to go into Chicago and start signing too, because he was born in Chicago. Okay. And so I think it was enough room for everybody, but it was unfortunate that and I'm not crazy enough to think that I believe that Young Dolph was a problem to the music industry as a whole, right? He was gonna be. But he was just getting started. They didn't know it, the music industry, the people behind the scenes didn't know it yet. He was just really getting started. So I don't know. I don't believe that he was really a threat to them at that point. I think it was just a bunch of people that saw the potential and just got jealous and wanted to take him out, because they had been trying to stop him forever and couldn't stop him. When you're going to record execs and going to record radio stations and telling them not to play somebody's music, you have a real jealous eye, and that came from Yo Gotti. If we have to be real about it. And so that's the reasons why, even though I was talking about Juke, and he did play a part in what happened, I can't say that he didn't do it now just because he's no longer here. Rest in peace to him. I'm not trying to be disrespectful, because I don't like disrespecting the dead, but I got to be honest. He played a part in it, but it was by way of the beef with his brother. And so that's why I say it started with Yo Gotti, and it's going to end with him too. That's the downside of Black people. They think like Yo Gotti. Right. I agree. Isaac, I agree. That covetousness spirit, right? When Yo Gotti was not the first person to come out of Memphis. Let me just say this, because Yo Gotti kind of sort of puts me in the mind of Lil Durk. Okay. And I don't know a lot about Chicago politics. I've watched it. I've watched Duck's situation. I had a very, very big interest in what happened to FBG Duck for 2 reasons, and 2 reasons only. I will say this: rest in peace to Duck. Okay. I hate that happened to him. I hate that for his children and his mother and his family. But FBG Duck was very versatile. FBG Duck could have gotten on any, because of his versatility, he could have crossed over and did any kind of music with his rap. He was gonna be bigger than big, okay? And I watched Dirk, and even like with the Von situation, right? And I hate that happened to Von, because Von had his own sound and stuff. But it appears to me, just based on looking at video of because when Duck was taken out, then we started to see Cash, FBG Cash started to sprout up, right? And he started to put out some hard little music, right? And it appears to me that, just in my opinion, that Lil Durk didn't want nobody big to come out of Chicago after him. Okay, that was not a part of his situation. That's just how it seemed to me. And he always just kind of reminded me of Yo Gotti. Like they was kind of like on the same thing. They send people out to do their dirty work. And it's like he just was not satisfied until all of the ones, those FBG people, guys that had potential to blow up, was no longer here with us, right? And that's probably why you see his ass having all kinds of strokes and shit. They say he just won an award. I don't got he never could rap to me, but that's just my opinion. Okay, I don't give a damn about him, and I hope he go to jail if he has something to do with that, because it made no sense. And I'm gonna tell you something. I listened to him say, if you talk about D thing, you gonna see they gonna find you up under that tree. Well, that's where they found Cash at. They had a party when Duck was killed. Duck was very much, right, a threat. I mean, now all of them that had the potential to blow up are gone, right? Now, Ruga is a one of the best kept secrets, because Ruga is conscious. I've said that before. Duck and Ruga did a song together. I think Von did it, Exposing Me. Von did a very good job with that. And then Ruga and Duck did a remix of it, and Ruga just, I mean, even though Duck sound good, but Ruga is very conscious with his music. He's a very conscious person. Like I follow him on Instagram because he's woke. He's very smart, right? I think he's one of Chicago's best kept secret. But I mean, at this point, I guess Dirk feel like Duck and them probably were the ones that had the potential, especially Duck with his versatility, right? And then the other reasons why I pay close attention to Duck's situation is because I always said Duck and Young Dolph's situation kind of mirror as far as that as far as their cases are probably going to mirror each other, right? Because you see a Rico in Duck's case, and you're probably going to end up seeing a Rico in Young Dolph's case at some point. Real as it gets says, damn Tam, you and I think the same. Those rappers are not rich. They live a fake lifestyle. Yeah, a lot of them aren't rich. But I do believe that Young Dolph had gotten rich, because I think he had gotten his money before he got into the game, right? But even still, like why did it have to get that out of control? Like, I remember asking somebody, and I won't say who it was. I was like, even before all of this stuff happened this year, I remember asking them last year. I was like, do you think they regret, what they did to Young Dolph? And the person was like, no, I don't think they regret it. I think they feel like it was just one of them situations where he just had to go. And I never forgot that. I was like, dog, As a matter of fact, I it was Player Cole that I had that conversation with. He was like, "Nah, I think that they feel like it was just one of them situations where they just feel like he had to go." And my thing is, why did he have to go? Why did they decide that it was in their hands to decide the fate of another man, especially another Memphian that was doing the exact same thing that they was doing? And I see that Gotti kind of, when he did that interview with Forbes, I could tell. Somebody told me Gotti don't be looking at your vlogs. I said, I don't give a damn. I got so tickled one night because somebody that's in the vlog had texted me, Player Cole had texted me and was like, somebody said that Big Jook is in your chat. He looking at your vlog, and I really started acting a fool. I bet he had gotten in here, right? And but why did they feel that way? Why did I like? Well, I was going to say this about Forbes. He made sure, because I always talk about battle rapping, right? I always talk about battle rapping and like how rap was created from battle rapping, right? And Yo Gotti made sure that when he did that interview with Forbes, he was like, and we didn't know nothing about no battle rapping. I got tickled because I always say that we ain't know nothing about no battle rapping. That's something that they did up east, but he's old enough to understand where all of this stuff was created, right? But why did it, and that rap was created from battle rap and stuff, and people being quick on their feet and all of that. But why did it have to get this out of control? Y'all, it never should have gotten this far out of control. It never should have. And like I said, even if it seems to me that Young Dolph has started to calm down, that I'm talking about as far as because they had said he was talking about retiring. He had started working with his other artists, and they were still messing with him. So my thing is, with all of the stuff that has happened, even some of the people that have been taken out that we don't even know anything about, y'all. I'm talking about the people that it was by way of being affiliated with some of these people after Young Dolph was taken out. Why did it have to go this far? Why? Real as it gets. Says, my opinion, all this shit came from the higher ups. Gatekeepers. Nikolai says they effed up for taking Flipper out because he wants to control the market. I think that's what it was. I do believe that that's the idea that they had. Now, a lot of people don't talk about this, but as soon as Young Dolph was taken out, you heard Lil Boosie talking about Memphis, and he was working with a group called CMG. And I was never fooled. I always felt like that it was affiliated with Yo Gotti. And somebody was telling me the other night that music group that they're saying is CMG that is not affiliated with Gotti. Thank you, Miss Paula. That's not affiliated with that they thought was not affiliated with Gotti is owned by is Boosie, Gotti, and somebody else. I always felt like that, but that was like right after Young Dolph was but you haven't heard anything else about it. It seems like everything that everybody thought that they was going to be able to do after Young Dolph was taken out, it has not happened. It has kind of backfired, right? And what's so disturbing to me is it's not like it was a bunch of young cats. These were older guys that had been getting money, that was making money, that should have been controlling their emotions. Young Yo Gotti had been in the game way longer than Young Dolph had. Okay, he knows that everybody has their turn. Like, when 3-6 was in the game, as people say, 3-6 kind of did it to him. Okay, so 3-6 had their time. Then Yo Gotti came along, he had his time, and then what was wrong with Young Dolph having his time? They wanted to try and block Young Dolph, but Young Dolph was stubborn enough, right, and worked hard enough to make sure he took it. If they don't want me to have it, I'm gonna take it because it's out there for me to get. It wasn't theirs to give to him anyways. And so that's why I say a lot of this need to be talked about because we don't want to consistently see cycles of stuff like this happening. Now, I hear Yo Gotti's artists speak very highly of him, and of course they're supposed to because they feel like he's the person that's giving them the gifts. Okay, it has not resonated with them yet that they was more than likely it was God that gave them the gifts, right? That it was God that gave them the gifts. They feel like it's Yo Gotti that's giving them the gift. Okay, so maybe it comes by way of being on Yo Gotti's label. Okay, but I think this needs to be dissected. Okay, hey Robert, because we can't have stuff like this continuously happening. I just can't understand why Yo Gotti created a disaster. Okay, and maybe something like this had happened before, but it seems like to me he created a real big disaster because it's like they just was not satisfied until they killed him, until they killed Young Dolph, and as a result of killing him, there has been nothing but bad karma in the atmosphere. Okay, there's been nothing but bad karma in the atmosphere, right? He said, Nikolai, not him. Dolph still got plenty strands. He got a Twitter gay porn site. Oh my God. Lord Jesus. Y'all, I don't know what's going on within the industry. And see, I've never, Young Dolph is one of those artists that I never heard about that was at those industry parties getting down. Okay. I never heard about that with Young Dolph. And I don't think I ever would have heard about that with Young Dolph. And I'm not saying that to be messy or anything. I haven't. I never heard about that with Young Dolph. Has anyone asked why Yo Gotti did this Forbes interview talking about 100 million instead of addressing his brothers? Well, the interview was done at the end of 2023. If you listen to the man that did the interview, he said to Yo Gotti, "Thank you for taking this interview for the holidays. We're at the end of 2023, going into 2024. Do you have any resolutions?" So it was around the Christmas New Year time that the interview was did, but they did the interview, but they actually just dropped it. I don't know why he did. I'm gonna tell you what I heard about those Forbes interviews, that they pay to be on those on Forbes because it makes them it helps with their reputation. It makes them look bigger than who they are because we know damn well Yo Gotti ain't got no 100 million. I don't mean no harm, but I mean he could have it. I'll say that, but I just don't believe it. But it helps with their reputation. It helps them look like that they are make them look like this big boss. Perception, what how people see you is everything. It's something about if people think you got $100 million, it makes them want to go and listen to your artist more. It takes your reputation up. It ain't really about what you got. It's just about what people think. He doesn't have that much money. That's CMG money. Well, somebody tried to argue me down when I saw Yo Gotti put that like right after Young Dolph was killed. A few months after he was taken out, I saw him put in his Instagram story, $100 million deal with Interscope. We just knocked that out the park. Hell, I saw that. So he had gotten like $100 million loan from Interscope. Realistic Gear says he don't, Tamara. I know for a fact. I can't say much about it. Somebody, right? I know he don't. If somebody had $100 million, it ain't no reasons why he should have been hating on another man as he was, and still had issues with his artist. because they thought that his label would be defunct and they were still thriving, right? And so immediately, I can't forget that immediately after he was taken out, they immediately started going after Young Dolph's artist. Okay, they were afraid that Key Glock, they saw Key Glock was going to continue on and do well, right? They immediately started going after him and sending people after him. I don't know what it was about Snoop Bands, but it's obvious, it's clear that Yo Gotti has issues for some reason with Snoop Bands, right? And so I asked somebody, I said, why does Yo Gotti have issues with Snoop Bands like he does? Snoop Bands could be his damn son. And the person said to me, well, you wouldn't understand, it's a street thing, but he understands that if Snoop Bands ever get into power, he's gonna have issues or something. I still don't understand it. Okay. But I always felt like it was because Snoop Bands added him right after, Young Dolph was taken out and called him a B. When they did a concert right after Young Dolph was taken out, Snoop Bands was on stage. He said, Yo Gotti, you a B. Then he turned around and added him on Instagram. He said, all of this is scripted, clout chasing. Ronald Gray says, keep my money on the low. Money ain't S if you ain't happy. Right. It's not anything if you're not happy. I remember Dr. Dre said the more, as hard as you work to make your money, there's always somebody working harder to try and get your money from you. So you have to work harder to keep it after you get it. And that's stressful. So y'all, like I said, I hate that all of this happened. And hey, like I said, I'm not gonna sit here and act like, Yo Gotti isn't a talented artist. He is talented. He is talented. Hey, Dennis. The relationship is fake. The higher up send that B to make her get famous. It's a contract. Him and his mom can't stand her. Oh, wow. Bam DZ was one of the closest to Dolph. That alone scares Scotty. Oh, Bands. Yeah, he allowed Young Dolph success to, especially when you feel like you've done everything that you can. Anytime it is alleged, Mr. N said he was taking meetings with execs and blocking Young Dolph. Now this was according to Mr. N. And him and allegedly Devin Steele, which was a big radio disc jockey at one time, was cool with Gotti and them. They wouldn't spin Young Dolph's records. They worked together, and Young Dolph still made a way because he had money. You can't stop somebody that's got money. You can't. And so, as Player Code was saying to me, he says, when Gotti was going to his celebrity friends at the time, like T.I. and all of them, and talking to them about, he wanted to blackball him. And so what Young Dolph says that he didn't have to wait on a record label to cut a check. Anything they asked him for was in his backpack. So whatever Yo Gotti was talking about went straight out the window, but they was double and triple charging Young Dolph to get on his record. And he was paying it because he knew at the time that he needed them to make his music hot. So I'm sure that is stressful. You working hard, all you trying to do is create some wealth, and some nigga that has gone through the same thing is working hard to try to stop you. to try and control your destiny. So, like I said, all of this stuff has happened, but you still got artists, because I like Big Boogie. I think Big Boogie is talented. Okay, you got other little artists over there that are that falls up under CMG, but maybe signed to like Bread Gang or whatever. I like the little man that I can't think of it, that Moneybag Yo signed from out of West Memphis, Arkansas. Moneybag himself is very talented. So what does Yo Gotti do to set examples? Because at some point, Yo Gotti is gonna go to jail. I mean, I serve a God. I know people don't want to hear it. I know they don't want to hear it. Okay. But at some point, I can't see God not making him pay for what he created, because it started with him. He gonna go somewhere, because he can't just get away. Karma is not gonna just let him get away with the chaos that he created out of his jealousy. It's got to happen. Black Youngster and them are not going to go down by themselves. And see, and that's another thing. You know, you talk about being a CEO, but you pull all of your artists in garbage. That is absolutely unnecessary. Because at some point, Black Youngster going to jail. He gonna ride too. And that's just not me talking. It's the truth. You have to reap what you sow. They killed that boy and they didn't have to do it. Everybody's still trying to understand, even the people that ride with them. No, man, they ain't have to kill him. I don't know why they had to do that. I dated a guy. He was my first boyfriend out of South Memphis, hard to the core. He's Gangsta Black and the other one, Player Fly, they all still best friends to this day. Right? And he a real street dude. He don't do a whole lot of talking, but I ain't never seen a frown so deep on his face when he said, man. And Black Youngster looked up to them dudes. As he looked, especially Player Fly. Man, they ain't have to kill that man. They ain't have to do that. They know they was wrong for doing that. That wasn't supposed to happen. You had real street dudes say that, even if they was riding with Gotti more, they still can't understand why it had to go this far. And that's why everybody else left saying, why did it go this far? Why? Because even after he was taken out, you still had people throwing out shots as if it was funny that he was dead. You know, when they, was having a car show. It is alleged that Big Juke was saying, they was mad because so many people came from everywhere. They was coming from all down in St. Louis to come to the car show. The expressway was backed up for 2 hours. Folks trying to get to that car show. So it is alleged that they was making fun of him, and allegedly Big Juke said, I bet you they can't book him to do a walkthrough in that car show. So what was why all of this venom? Y'all take a man out, and then y'all mad at him still after y'all take him out. And so what kind of example is being set for the people like Big Boogie and all of them? Because I don't see Daddy-O spewing all of this venom, because even with the very worst happening to Young Dolph's artists, I still don't see them spewing out any venom. Even with the shots that Jay Fizzle is throwing out, it don't seem like venom. It just seems like Jay Fizzle is throwing back at them what they put at them. It's built up, and he just spitting it back out at them. Okay, throwing their venom back at them. And so all of this chaos created, when Memphis want to be proud of what all of their accomplishments. So when people say to me, well, why can't y'all just be proud of Yo Gotti's accomplishments? I can. Moneybagg Yo is talented. I'm proud of him. Okay? I'm proud of him. I'm proud of the little boy that come from over in because he has an awesome sound that comes from over in West Memphis, Arkansas, right over the bridge. But it does not, we can't negate what they put into the atmosphere, because we want for Young Dolph to have been here to be proud of what he had created. And for some reason, they decided that they wanted to play God and block him because they couldn't stop him. After they had tried everything, they came to the conclusion, we got to kill him because he can't be stopped. And they still have not. The frustration continued on, because after they put him in his grave as if they was God, his artists kept flourishing, so they still couldn't stop him and hold him down even in the grave. Because what he had built, the foundation that he has built, still flourishes. So what is all of this about? What was it for? Because now these old men have created, my dad used to always say, old men start wars that young men had all of these young men to die. Especially after this happened to Young Dolph. They've been beefing with each other. Folks just been dying. Folks, I'm on your side. Big Juke went inside everybody in Fraser and in North Memphis. Knowing those little boys and stuff was into it. So you got all of these OGs making all of these mistakes. And for what? Why? Hadn't enough people died? But it goes back to, what these young boys need to understand is when they start dangling these deals and stuff in their faces, they don't give a damn about them, because nobody sends you out to fight a battle and it's a losing battle. Young Dolph set his artists up so they got money. Them boys got money. So do they think that they can actually send these young boys out to go and do something to one of them? And they street dudes too, and ain't gonna be no consequences? They forget about that. So why is all of this stuff? I'm listening to Big Boogie, and I know Big Boogie has a loyalty to them. But all Big Boogie, at the end of the day, all he want to do is his music and stuff. But rather he recognizes it or not, when he has to say, listen, and he has to say it out of loyalty. I'm with God, I'm with whoever God is with. Well, that means everybody already know what that means, when it shouldn't even have to even be that way, because none of this never should have happened. So when do people get smart? Because the very ultimate has happened. It has. Like, Young Dolph can't come from out of that grave. He can't. I wish he could. We all wish he could. Hey, I don't wish that on Big Juke. I wish that never had happened to Big Juke. It hurt me to see Young Dolph's arm dangling out of that window. It hurt me to see Big Juke's mother kneel down by his side, as a mother myself. And anybody that's a mother, kneeling over her son, knowing that he's no longer here, when we're supposed to be the protectors of our children, and there's nothing that we could do. I don't wish that on no mother. If I say I wished it on, I'd be a damn fool and barbaric. Big Juke had kids. Young Dolph had kids. So when do people like Gotti and them, who feel like, well, I'm the boss, you got all these damn fools around him. Let me go ahead and run them, okay? I'm talking about the ones that we don't see, a bunch of damn fools that egg this stuff on. Yes, men. Niggas, if y'all gonna be up under him, you need to have some damn balls. It never should have went this far. I can't stand no jellyback nigga. And I'm speaking as a black woman now. that have always loved black men. I don't like jellyback men. They're getting on their knees and doing anything to be up under somebody that they think got some damn money, instead of having some type of conviction and saying, no, dog, we don't do it like that. Instead of, yeah, I take the hit, and you got kids. You got some of these niggas that have been in and out of jail their kids' whole life because they wanted to be loyal to another Negro and not loyal to their kids. I'm CMG for life. I'm the lawless motherfucker. You got kids, bitch. You done left your damn woman out there for her to raise them kids by herself because you talking about you loyal to another man. What kind of sense do it make? So then when they asses get old, they start recruiting all these young dudes that's got dreams of having record deals and stuff, just like they did Straight Drop. Okay? Just like they did Straight Drop. Straight Drop could have easily been, he could have been successful if they had put the right type of talent and stuff in him. Hey, they say I'm related to him. Nah, I wish I was, because if I had been closely related to him, if I had been related to him at all, maybe I could have talked some damn sense into him. Okay? I could have talked some sense into him, because I talk to my young cousins like this. Okay? So they dangle the idea of wealth and fame in his face. Right? Knowing that he a crash dummy. They know he a crash dummy. And they knew that he was going to crash out. And that's exactly what happened. You know why they did it? Because they didn't give a damn about him. They didn't give a damn about him. You don't send people out to do hits for you that you care about, because you understand what the repercussions are going to be. They're going to either die or go to jail. You don't want nobody you care about to die or go to jail. Because surely when Straight Dropping Them was out there, what did Rest in Peace Young Dolph say? When Straight Dropping Them were out there in front of that cookie shop, everybody was already saying, before they ever even put that indictment out for him a couple weeks later, that was Straight Dropping Them that was out there. They already knew. So they had to have known that there was going to be retaliatory situation. Gotti and them have lived longer than Straight Drop. Right? And so then when the going started getting tough, rough, right? You heard, I remember Gotti put a tweet out. Okay? Gotti put a tweet out. And the tweet said, y'all keep my name out of that shit. Now, you already knew what had happened. And you already knew it come from people around you. And so then I hear people say, well, you know, Gotti didn't know until it was too late. But, you know, he didn't care for Young Dolph. So, you know, he ain't messed with him like that. So he didn't stop it. Well, he's still guilty. How you going to be a CEO and a human being, and you going to let somebody, you going to know about somebody taking out somebody, and it comes from your camp and not stop it? Morally, he was wrong. Morally. Right? And so all of this, when people start talking about all of this street stuff, I can't identify with that. I ain't no street girl. I grew up around street dudes. I've dated street dudes my whole life because I grew up in the hood, but I never ran the streets. I got hardcore street cousins. Okay? But I never ran the street. I never had that street stuff around me. But I still understand, y'all, right and wrong. And it wasn't nothing right about what they did. It wasn't nothing right about that. I understand as a business owner myself that I can't have anything affiliated with my business that's going to make it look bad. And I'm talking about people. That's the reason why I know Yo Gotti knew. And Yo Gotti ain't street either, but he probably know a little bit more about the street than I do. That's how I know he knows right. He knew right from wrong. That's how I know if he claims that he's the CEO of CMG, he might have started CMG, but I don't know if he's still the CEO or not. Somebody else might own a bigger percentage of his company than he do. He might just be the face at this point. Hell, I don't know. And when people say that he couldn't stop it, I can't see myself being a CEO of my company and saying that I can't stop something. I can stop it because I'm gonna get the people up out of there. When I know it's gonna be a catastrophe, they're gonna make me look bad. All of my hard work, they got to go. Because it's a reflection of me. And he couldn't stop it. Okay. And so I'm not trying to be hard on Yo Gotti because people always say I'm being hard on him. But I have to speak the truth. Somebody said the other day, you know what? I'm just gonna unsubscribe from you because you just too biased. You just don't know how to be neutral. I ain't even respond. Because they put that in my comments all the time. I understand that Yo Gotti got fans in here. I'm not trying to tell nobody not to be a fan of Yo Gotti. I like Yo Gotti's music. Okay? But I have to speak the truth. I'm not trying to cater to anybody, y'all. I'm speaking the truth. This ain't no game. King Salomon says that Yo Gotti came in the game kicking doors. If that ain't street, I don't know what street is. Well, maybe that's street to you, King Salomon. Maybe that's street to you. Okay. I'm not gonna try to take that from you. Real as it gets says he has a lot of people above him. There are directors that tell him what to do. Big Pat 870 says you just speaking facts, Miss T. So why did it get this out of control? Why did it get this out of control? Hey, I be wishing Big Boogie and them success. But what's so sad is even after Young Dolph was assassinated, right? You had them then trying to block Young Dolph's artist, right? You had them paying vloggers to put out crazy stuff about Key Glock because they knew Key Glock was up next. And guess what? They couldn't stop him. Look at how far in his own quiet way he allows his music and his success to speak for him. Look at what happened. Kenny Money came from the back, came to the front. That's who, if you talk about kicking doors down, Kenny Money, I didn't even know he was signed to Young Dolph. Kenny Money came from the back and started kicking doors down and came to the front. That's what I call kicking doors down. When I didn't even know about him. A lot of people didn't. But he started making people. But that was when he already was making money, they say. He was already a hard worker. But Key Glock, being unselfish, took them on tour. And they sold out every single show. Right? So even still with them putting that into the atmosphere, they still had not been able to stop his artist. That's why I say, why did it have to go this far? Because they still hadn't been able to stop him. The only thing they did was physically took him away from his children. That's the hurtful thing. They took him away from his kids because of the dream that he had on the inside of him and his visions. That's what they did. Okay. Hold on, y'all. Okay, y'all, I'm back. I'm back. I'm not cooking. Y'all, that was Miss Kitty. Tambora says, as dangerous as Memphis is, the mentality is stuck in the 80s and 90s. Everybody get money. How you gonna kill somebody over jealousy? And that's all it was. And that's why I keep saying, why did it have to happen like this, y'all? Why? And I think that's something that Gotti needs to deal with in his mind. Right? Because surely if he don't resolve that in his mind, maybe he'll deal with it in jail. Because God is gonna. I just don't see him not going. I don't see him not going. Surely he know they got to pay for what they did. It didn't have to, Miss T, but they played, so now they got what they wanted. Paula Hall says, King Solomon, let's see if he's gonna keep kicking off hinges when the industry is through with him. Hey, Monica. And that's why I say, y'all, there has to be some type of resolve. It has to be some type of resolve. I'm talking about as it relates to the younger young men, especially the younger young men that are in their the younger young men that are in their 20s. Because they was asking one of those artists how old he was, and he was like he's like 36 years old. I'm trying to remember which artist that was because I was really in shock. Um, God, I can't think of which artist that was. He said he's 36. Um, if Diddy ain't going to jail For he did. Ain't no way Gotti going. I'm glad you can't see it because he ain't going to jail. Well, Cypress, you keep the faith. Real as it gets says, my opinion. I think Jay-Z has something to do with it because he wants the South. That's okay, that's possible. Monica says, Cypress, you must want to do his time for him. Tambora says, in the industry, the cross is nothing but the double cross, and the double cross ain't nothing but the triple cross. Well, y'all make sure y'all hit the like button. Y'all hit the like button for me. Like, share, and subscribe. I believe y'all, we only got 99 likes. Y'all hit the like button. It's 200 people in here. Hit the like button for me. Run the likes all the way up. If you haven't hit the like button, hit the like button. Run the likes all the way up. I think it's sad that people be in the chat and they be in the chat and they refuse to hit the like button. They refuse to hit the like button. Nola Girl says Jay-Z can want the South, but he won't have Atlanta or New Orleans. I'm gonna tell you what I think. I believe in the beginning, just because of what I saw. I believe J Prince Jr., Yo Gotti. I believe J Prince Jr., CMG, and since Boosie called himself signed, I believe those three, especially CMG and Mob Ties. I believe they thought that they were going to control the South. That's what I think. I think they thought they was going to control it and sign these artists in these deals and take advantage of them. Because when we got to be honest, when Finesse Two Times first came out, got out, Finesse Two Times was hungry. Finesse Two Times, everybody was supporting him. I was just tickled pink about how hot he was. He was straight, just like Honeycomb Brazy. Honeycomb Brazy, in the little time that he was out, he picked Alabama, the whole state of Alabama up, put Mobile, especially Mobile, on the map. He put the whole state of Alabama on the map. Honeycomb Brazy did that. That's why I say I don't like how they did him. They did him dirty. I don't like that. And now people are not really even talking about him anymore. They did him dirty. People need to be trying to do what is necessary as it relates to helping Honeycomb Brazy, because they set him up. They set him up because he didn't want to be controlled. Okay? The exact same thing when Finesse Two Times got out and he started seeing how some things were. Finesse Two Times started bucking against their system also. And that's when all that bad stuff started happening to him and he fell in line. Okay? Finesse Two Times was hot off the press. Finesse Two Times was blazing. And then they started putting him in pink shirts and pants and stuff. And now he's gone by the wayside. It don't take away from his talent, but ain't nobody checking for Finesse like they was. They put a sizzle on him. Okay? They just did. I wish people would stop holding Gotti hand and let him stand on business like a real man. Gotti has too many enablers around him now. They say Gotti have a lot of street dudes around him. I can believe that. But I think those street dudes that's around Gotti should be ashamed of themselves to participate in enabling somebody, helping to ruin younger men that have a dream of and not checking Gotti. That's why I say I don't like jellyback men. You supposed to be a damn street dude, and y'all go along with having Young Dolph killed. Nobody stepped up to say, no, we can't do it like that. Nola Girl says Boosie can't be trusted. He wouldn't give up his masters. Who wouldn't give up his masters? It's thumbs up whether I'm on the live or not for my people. Thank you, Dennis. Diddy is drowning more and more every day. Young Miami, Chris Brown, Meek Mills is being sued by Lit Rod. Diddy got his son involved. So what did Young Miami do? Because I read where he's suing her or something. He got them going along type of people around him. I don't think you can go far if you have people that don't check you. And I'm gonna tell you something. Like I could be very stubborn when it comes to stuff. Right, especially in business, but I like to have people around me that ain't scared to say, well, why are you doing it this way? If you do it that way, this and that, and they give valid reasons, or hey, because in the end it's my decision. But if they say, well, you know what, this idea would be better. Thank you, Miss Kitty, for becoming a member. I think this is better. And sometimes it might be better, but they ain't. I don't like. Have you ever heard somebody and they sitting at a table and they go, uh-huh, 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 uh-huh. They ain't heard a damn word you said. They just so used to being agreeable. Uh-huh, 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 uh-huh. Lady, did you just hear me? They be uh-huh, 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 uh-huh. I can't stand no damn robot. She bring them young girls to Diddy so she and him can sleep with them. Wow. Diddy not going to jail. Trust me on that. He got too many powerful people on payroll. Whoever he had on payroll, they ain't protecting them. It don't look like. She recruiting young girls and participating in the freak offs. Wow. I told y'all, Young Miami, it was on her page. She was sitting on, they say it was her feet, but I believe Young Miami, she had a butt out. Young Miami had a butt plug in her ass. I promise you, that's what it was. Because they was like, no, that's her feet. That look like a damn butt plug. It's a darn shame what some of these young women do, when they think these men are rich. But now what has happened with P. Diddy is the people that was really funding him letting everybody know that he really didn't have no power. Right? As I always say, as I said from the very beginning, they gave him that nigga call. It's okay for him to destroy his community. We give you the power as long as you work at annihilating black men and masculinity. But we're going to give you that nigga call when you think you're going to rise up against anybody outside of the black community. That's why I don't give a damn what they do to them. They can send him back to the projects for all I care. Tambora says 500,000 a month. Russell says the Fed's been watching Diddy since 92 before Big and Pac died. Watch Sloan Bella. She is a medium. Okay. Kevin Feather says plenty of young women walk around with those jokers. She said he will get exposed more by March. Oh, wow. He wants Lord have mercy. So y'all, I'm gonna open up the chat. If you ain't noticed, Jizzle been previewing it since late last year. He had the video up at one point of him and Fat in the studio. None of these niggas knew Fat until now. Who is Fat? Rest in peace, Young Dolph. Who is Fat? You talk about why Fat? Kawana Maxie says he mentioned to get married. Hey, Diane. Yeah, shout out to CEO Jizzle. Y'all know that's my little son. Russell says, Paula, I wish I could disagree, but unfortunately, the industry has too many powerful people in high places. He will die before getting locked. I can assure you. She did a medium on Kim Porter. She mentioned a girl with red hair, the producer. She's suing Diddy. Wow. Scroll back up, Miss T. Look at our comments you missed. Okay. Let me go back up. Oh, okay. So it is YBT fat or YTB fat, whatever. So Jizzle already had music with YTB fat before he signed with Moneybagg. Hey, Rhonda. You guys, make sure y'all hit the like button. Let me see how many likes we got. You guys hit the like button for me. Like, share, and subscribe for me, you guys. So I want to open up the chat and I want to see what you all got to say for the next 30 minutes, y'all. Why did it get this far out of control? Y'all, why did it get this far out of control? Hold on, y'all. Hello? I'm interested in seeing what y'all got to say. Is Miss Kitty in here? Because I think Miss Kitty was commenting on the wrong video. It says, Paula Hall, I hear you. In a perfect world, he would have been in jail a long time ago, but that ain't the case. Sad to say. Mm. Mm. I'm waiting, you guys. Why do you all think that it got this out of control between Young Dolph and Yo Gotti? Tamara, go watch Sloan Bella. Then you can see she predicted getting exposed by November 16th. I really do believe in mediums, but Sloan was right. Player Code dropped info today about Minister Farrak. Is it Farrakhan? Farrakhan? Trying to get Gotti and Dolph together in Memphis to squash the beef, and only Dolph showed up. Oh. Didn't they say at some point, if I'm not mistaken, my guy, Coat Figure, if I'm not mistaken, when I'm almost sure when Coat Figure, when he first started and he started vlogging on the Young Dolphs, because he was the first person I started looking at. And he was one of the first ones that was really going hard for Young Dolph. I loved it when he was vlogging on the Young Dolph's case. I wish Coat Figure would start back vlogging on the Young Dolph's case. And Coat Figure had said in one of his vlogs that Jay Prince had tried to get Young Dolph and Yo Gotti together, and Yo Gotti didn't want to resolve it. I'm almost sure of that. Somebody at Coat Figure in here. I might call him and ask him, did he say that? But I'm almost sure he said it. It got this far because when someone got jammed up, they when someone got jammed up, they mentioned his name. I didn't want to spell his name in your chat. Oh yeah, I don't know why they go crazy over him. They don't want us to talk about Minister Farrakhan for some reason. It pisses me off. Who done it? That part. Because Gotti is super hater, even demonic roach. Yeah, a lot of people want to try to blame Young Dolph, but it's hard to forgive someone after, you've been in the hospital for attempted unaliving. They shot up your van. His kids or anybody could have been in his van. Black Youngster and them know they was wrong for that because they sure did it. I believe that they did it. My gut instincts tell me. I ain't got no proof. My gut instincts tell me that van that was shot up, Black Youngster and them did that. And it's so unfortunate because you got somebody else in jail for that. And that's what I'm talking about. I'm sure the young man that's in jail, everybody say he didn't do it. And I bet he's got children. So you take one for the team at the expense of your children? 13 years is a long time to be anywhere, especially disconnected from the outside world. And you got kids. If you got kids, when you come home, they grown. So you miss their whole life trying to be loyal to another man. That's what I'm talking about as a Black woman that pisses me off. While they out playing Father of the Year, CEO of the Year, living life. They sniffing all types of ass, and you dreaming of being able to sniff some. Your woman gone on, your kids angry at you, don't understand, because you ultimately have chosen that man over your kids and your family and yourself. It's just this song, I Hate That Happened, to Young Dolph and everyone else. This may sound horrible to say, but how can people support Gotti? Paula says he has not one time said rest in peace to his brother. Dennis says, I think when Big Bro said it's up, nobody could stand down. They got the right person. They caught him running with the gun after the shooting. Who you talk about, J Love? You talk about Keon? Are you talking about Keon? Paula says, but He can hold a big juke chain on the page. Hey, Big Pressure. Mm. Also, you saying that Keon was actually the one that shot the van up? Everybody else say he didn't do it. Paula says, Cypress TV, I know it's easy for you. The Black Barbie says, sounds like some man on man action. If you will go do time for a man, but won't go to the military. Imagine that BS. I tell you. I tell you. Mm. Anyways, you guys, like I said, I really I hate all of this happen, especially with all of them being Memphians. Why did it have to? They could have. Young Dolph had a good thing going. Everybody knows how the music industry. Bad Way says Keon got caught red-handed. Eyewitnesses. Okay, eyewitnesses said that it was Keon. Okay. Well, I mean, hey, I don't know. I wasn't there. But most people say that he took it. Now, and I guess I have to say allegedly, but the word on the street says he took the charge because Gotti didn't want Black Youngster to take it because he had other plans for him. Now that's the word on the street. But I don't know. I wasn't there. You could be right. Big Pressure says, I know it sounds crazy, but street shit won't make sense to normal civilians. Well, that's true. It absolutely don't make no sense to me because I could never understand a street dude putting another man or gang or anybody else before he puts his mother, his children, and his woman. I will never understand it. As a matter of fact, I don't even believe that that's a street code. It couldn't be. You go to jail so another man could be out and raise his kids, and I'm stuck with your damn kids, and your kids stuck without a damn father for years? Hell no. And I gotta raise them by myself because you being loyal to something else? No, that ain't no street code. It's video of them crashing after the shooting of the Sprinter van. Okay. Okay, Bad Way says it's video of them crashing after the shooting of the Sprinter van. Cypress says that that's how it happened. Bad Way Cypress says that what the word on the street, what I heard is what happened. But I don't know. I wasn't there. OG Snake Spider said that ain't no code. It's snake shit. Who done this as well? Young Dolph, a real gangster in my book. He never retaliated or went to court on them. That's true. I mean, you would think they would have shown the man some type of gratitude for not getting him locked up. I wish he had her. If he wasn't gonna bust him up, he should have went ahead and got him locked up. Russell says the industry wants, and at this point, he had a right to protect himself because they had a consistent history of trying to kill him. Russell says the industry wants this to happen. It's always an agenda behind rap beef murder. and private prisons that planned it since the early 90s, the gangster rap. I agree. Rest in peace, Young Dolph says Keon for sure got caught red-handed. The real T says, I thought D Mula and Finesse squashed the B. Cypress says, at Duke, man, he shot a video with KSBG. Rest in peace, Young Dolph says that, thank you, Miss Paula, for the cash out. Rest in peace, Young Dolph says, that it happened that way, bad ways. Hey, I've heard other people say that it happened the other way that I just said, but I don't know because I wasn't there. Rest in peace, Young Dog. Looks bad way said, okay, I may be wrong. Cypress know it all for sure. Rest in peace, Young Dog says, the real TD just dissed again after the other day on Instagram made a long post. Who is D? Miss Tam, no disrespect, but that's why it's called the streets that we have to pull our people from. That's true. You're right. I agree. Paula says deep down they knew Young Dolph was a good guy. They were just blinded by hate and jealousy. Jealousy is as deadly as the grave. It is a sickness. Jealousy is a cancer. And you cannot see past it. People do evil things because that jealousy eats at them. It's a cancer. And I believe that it's a spirit because it controls them. It's in the police report. Okay. Duke Man says, rest in peace, Young Dolph. I know, just trying to see them niggas don't know what they want to do. Duke Man says, somebody, is that AB go? Rest in peace, Young Dolph, for real, for real. Who you think going? They had to make up fake shit about Kenny because they know they ain't on shit for real. Yep, somebody about to go. Somebody about to go where, Cypress? That is why he just signed that fat dude. Laugh out loud. They were celebrating. I saw plenty of them laughing whole time, bro, alive. What was Gotti jealous of? Young Dolph's potential. I think he was jealous of his potential and the mere fact that he thought that he would be able to stop him. It becomes a desperation when you think that you can stop somebody after you've gone behind the scenes and talked to execs and gone to the record companies and told them not to spin your records, and he was still able to do his thing. It messed with his ego. As Cypress say, Auntie, somebody gonna get put in the wall. I hope not. The killing has to stop. And Duke was crazy, bro. KSBG, he more on bag and 30 and big homie them. Team Finesse need that protection. Tamara, True that is going to be on Player Code tonight. True that. Is that the young man from out of Memphis? What time are they coming on? Didn't 36 Mafia try to blackball Gotti too? 36 Mafia. Well, I said 36. Lord. Yeah, they said that they tried to blackball Gotti, which is why you would think that he would not have been that insensitive to Young Dolph and try to do the same thing. Instead, what people did was try to give him a pass and say, well, 3-6 did this to him. Okay, well that for that very reason, he should not have done it to Young Dolph. And I don't doubt 3-6 did it to him. Hell, because Paul was mean. I grew up around Paul, and we stayed in the same neighborhood when we moved out the hood. Paul folks had money. He lived right over there in the same hood that I lived in. I lived on the next street from him, and they was living over there when I got there. Him and Ricky. I think they called Ricky Infamous Lord or something later on. But they was living right in Twinkletown when we moved over there. Now I think Juicy and them grew up in North Memphis, but Paul was living in Twinkletown when we moved to Twinkletown. Paul and Ricky was. He was riding around on the red moped, and his dad owned a pest control company, and his dad had once been a part of a successful gospel group. YTB Fat was down with Bankroll Freddie before he got with Moneybag. Big Pat, hell yeah, he was putting in that work for Bank for real. But Bag better watch though, back door still open. I hope these young men just make their money and go home alive and not in a hearse. That's what they need to do. Just make their money and go home. You know, everybody that was involved in what happened to Young Dolph, I pray that there be justice and these young men that don't play a part of that. You know, I pray that they get their minds and stuff right. Because, see, as I keep saying, like CEO Jizzle and YFAT and all of them, they represent the future. And so what they need to be doing is nurturing that and helping to guide them in the right direction so that they can make money and create generational wealth and live, right? And live. It don't make no damn sense that these young men are not living to see 30 years old. They either going away for life or they are dying. That's unacceptable. And I'm very disappointed in Black men for not stepping up to put a lid on this, because they're the ones that's supposed to be stepping up. Ain't no way in hell that me as a Black woman, I'm supposed to be the person that's on here cussing and fussing, saying that this shit gotta stop and it's supposed to stop. And Black men are perpetuating it, saying that it's better to die than to tell on who tried to kill you. If that ain't crazy, I can't even respect no Black man that do that. They supposed to be coming up. First of all, it starts in the household. So what they need to be doing, even if they're not with the women, they need to be actively a part of their sons' lives, because no OG is supposed to even feel comfortable enough to be paying your damn sons to go commit a hit. Because you're supposed to be a constant figure, a constant role model in your damn son's life. Okay? These Black men are supposed to be the ones stepping up, sorting this stuff out in the community, especially the older ones. Instead, what I see is a lot of them acting like a bunch of damn fools, and they have issues with those that do. There's these two guys that's from out of New Orleans. I love looking at their vlog. I don't say which vlog it is because I don't want folks over there trolling them. But they were some street dudes. But now what they do is they promote masculinity, and they try to encourage these dudes to turn their lives around. Hell, I was listening to them one day that I just happened to tune in because my time I be so busy so much, but I was listening to them one day. I tuned in for a few minutes, and they were saying some little dudes that they know from out of New Orleans. They was just getting their guns and stuff ready to go and shoot up somebody's mama's house. And they was like, "What the hell y'all doing? We get his mama at home. We get ready to go around here and pop up their house." Like, no, your mama live right down the street, and you get ready to go pop up his mama house. Y'all gonna go down there and pop up his mama house, and your mama living right down the damn street, which means they gonna come and return the favor. See, it's not men, it's not a lot of men like that to make these young dudes think about what's gonna happen after you gonna do that. Now you putting your own mama life in danger because they're gonna do to you the same thing you just did to their damn mama. Your mama might get hit. But instead, what we have a lot of OGs perpetuating this stuff. Yeah, young, go ahead. Because a lot of times they be wanting these young dudes to go and ruin their lives and stuff. That's what they be wanting. They be wanting for them to go ruin their lives. Because number one, they jealous of them. They remind them of what they used to be. Oh man, you know, they mind tell them if they go to jail, Straight Drop had a cute little girlfriend. We go, and they think like that. I'm telling you, Straight Drop a little off. He go to jail. We put him up to go do Young Dolph hit. Well, I can have my way with his gal when he gone to jail because he gonna get caught. Hell, they had so many calls coming in that the call log was the call log started being busy. I know because I used to work Crime Stoppers the night that it happened. Where y'all think they was getting all them damn tips from? They was getting the tips from the people that knew what had happened, and probably some of the ones, it ain't no probably, it was some of the ones that was in his damn camp that was supposed to be cool with him. They want him to go to jail. At least now I can have my way with his girl, and I ain't got to worry about him popping at me because he crazy. See, these young dudes don't even know that folks think like this when they out here being crash dummies and stuff. They push them over the edge because they want to trick them out of their position and get their spot. And now what happened? They say his girlfriend gone on, which was going to happen anyway, and she's going to have another man's baby. And they say allegedly it's right out of Heavy camp. Okay, that's Black Youngsters Camp, the very camp that helped to encourage him to go do that to Young Dolph. And so that's why I say these and Black Youngster ass ain't no spring chicken. He in his damn 30s. So at this point, he would be an OG to Straight Drop in them. Yo Gotti is an OG and always have been to Black Youngster. So why are they making all of these crazy decisions? And then when the very ultimate happened and people say there's got to be some justice, they feel like somebody like me is hating on them or doing them wrong because Young Dolph's family and children got to get justice. Do they feel like they supposed to stay out after they plotted on their boy life? Do they not think that they are not supposed to pay for misguiding these young dudes, like Straight Dropping them? They misguided them. Big Pat says Keon is known to get active. Never put it past him. Okay. He could have did it. He could have. I don't know. I'm telling y'all what I had heard, but he could have did it. He could have. But regardless to whether Keon did it or not, he made a fool decision. Because I'm sure Keon didn't even have no damn beef with Young Dolph. Hey, Cecilia. So that's why I say, this stuff gotta stop. Y'all, it's gotta stop. The men are gonna have to start stepping up. Those that have already did the dirt, I mean, you're gonna have to put on your big man drawers or whatever you wear, because I believe some of them be wearing panties anyways. But you're gonna have to pull them up, and you just gonna have to go do your time and stop being mad at folks and go and do your time, and maybe you can become a role model in jail. Because if those that had something to do what happened to Young Dolph, they're working so hard to get every one of them. I know they're going to jail. So what they need to do is just go ahead and make up their minds that, let God use them and help these young dudes that's coming in and out of prison. Sometimes that's your ministry. Hell, you didn't know how to act when you was on the outside. Y'all act like Young Dolph couldn't live. Do y'all think y'all supposed to live and y'all wanted that boy dead? That's not how life works. You have to reap what you sow, but you could turn your life around in jail. Become a role model. Okay? Become a role model when you locked up. I think that would be the best thing to do. G Money says, from Chicago, while you in jail, become a role model and let God use you. Y'all make sure y'all hit the like button for me. Get back. Yeah, I said I'm gonna be on here long because I gotta be out early in the morning. Yeah, it's a lot of it's a whole big world out there. I gotta say this, it's a whole big world out there. And there's some great things that can happen for you. But you got to get your mind right, and you got to be willing to do right by people. It ain't nothing right about wanting to lead these young dudes into doing wrong things. It's not. I was the other day, and as much as I love where I live at, God will show when you do right, right follows you. I promise to God, when you do right, right follows you. I was recommended to this person for a job, right? The guy called me, and when he called me, I'm gonna tell y'all how God works. When he called me, he asked me my prices or whatever, and then he was like, "Oh yeah, sure, I'm gonna do it." I was like, "Okay, cool." And so then I didn't hear from him. So I was like, "Well, that's just another person, that the people do it all the time. They say they want to do something, then they don't." So then he texted me and he was like, I had this, and that going on. And so to make a long story short, I'm always real cautious about everything. So, anyways, I proceeded to look him up and some more stuff, and so he was like, "Well, can you come to where I live at?" And so where he lives at is like closer to like Eads, right? It's closer to Eads. And so I ended up going out there. He was like, "Well, you have to have I'm gonna have to come out there and open the gate for you, because in my community, if you don't have a proxy card, you can't get in." I was like, "Okay." So as I went back there, you guys, like I was looking at, because where I live at, I have a lake in the back of my house. But when I got back there, and they were back there where they live at, I didn't even know that it was houses back there, right? And when I got back there, I was looking at all of that water and how all of those people were living, and everybody had a boat in the back of their house. Like you start looking at all of like how all of these rich people are living and stuff, and the type of humor and stuff I was like, "Oh my God." I was like, I have a lake in the back of my house, but it's nothing like what y'all got. And it was like, it was nothing to him, right? And I got to thinking about like how everybody works so hard. I said that to say this, how everybody works so hard because they want to have things, and they forget to put things into perspective. Because when you start talking to these rich people, because he was like, "Can I tell you a funny story?" I said, "Yeah." He was like, you know, the guy that lives in that house right here, and it was the house directly next to his. I was like, yeah, because I got spooked. He was like, yeah, I will write you out your check. Would you like to come in? I was looking at his big house. I said, now if I go in his house, this is a big house. They could do me like the people in Get Out. I was like, no, I have a habit of not going in people's houses. I promise to God that his house was gorgeous, but I was like, nah, I stand out here. You go on in and get the check. And I'll stand out here. I said, can I go back there? He was like, yeah, go on in my backyard if you want to. You can get on my boat and you can come. You want to come and hang out sometimes? You could do that. We never get on that boat. I was like, okay. And so when I was getting ready to leave, he started talking to me about how he was a recovering addict, and how he was how God had delivered him, how he had turned, you know, how he had gotten more spiritual and all of that. He said, I'm gonna tell you something funny. He said, you see the house right here next to me is a 3-story house. I said, yeah. He said, the CEO of Campbell's Soup owned that house. He said, and I asked him, how do you actually count the chicken that goes into the soup? And it was some type of corny little joke, you know, that he was talking about. But I got to thinking about, I was like, dog, I was like, people work hard to have things, and these people got all of that, and they have issues just like everybody else. But people forget to put things into perspective, and that is to trust your source. And everybody has a source, whether you call it God or not, because without that money, it's nothing. Because you have people that have big houses, they have 3-story houses, and they be sitting on their balconies and stuff in their mind. They look just like zombies and stuff. And so you got these young dudes that's chasing a illusion, y'all. They chasing an illusion, because there's really no foundation built on the inside of them. I'm telling this guy about, well, I got a lake in the back of my house, and hell, I love my lake. I love to stand in the window, but it's nothing like this water y'all got back here with all these boats. And it's nothing to him. This man is chasing peace, because that's what I want. Peace. I want peace. And people forget to put stuff into perspective, because if they did, they wouldn't be taking folks out. They would have let Young Dolph build his wealth for his generation, because he had the idea of what to do. My dad used to always say, people are so selfish, they forget about the main thing. That's why I love this. I got a plaque that say the main thing is to keep the main thing the main thing. The main thing is what we do ain't even about us. It ain't. It's about building for our children and our grandchildren and their children. It's about leaving a legacy behind. That's it, and that's all. But ain't nobody being taught nothing. That's why it's so easy. They don't even have a regards for life anymore. And so everybody is so zombified. They don't care nothing about themselves. It's all about money. It's all about things. It's all about being able to get on Instagram. That's all Straight Drop wanted to do after he took Young Dolph out. He wanted to be able to get on Instagram in a Bari Gucci North Face and take pictures, and his life was over. His life was over. And so Straight Drop was old enough to understand right from wrong. But you had a bunch of adults who was old enough to be his damn daddy. Not just Gotti, but some of them dudes that be around Gotti in the background. You niggas was wrong, because I know y'all be on my live. Y'all was wrong. And God gonna hold y'all accountable. Y'all gonna pay for that. Y'all gonna pay for helping to ruin the lives of poor young black men. And you motherfuckers grew up in Memphis, and you knew how impoverished it was. All because y'all want to take a man out that was being great and helping his city. You use a bunch of poor black boys that grew up in poverty, that didn't have no foundation, to go and ruin their lives and Young Dolph's life and Young Dolph's family life. And look at you. You still ain't been able to stop nothing. They split the city up. They took away a philanthropist. And now they looking over their damn shoulders and talking about that big mouth black woman just want to see us in jail. I'm a damn black woman. I represent all black women that that's watching how our black men and children are consistently being taken out. Hell, I know my damn history. So I know how black men and children have been lynched. And you gonna get rich off of the black backs of other black people and do the exact same thing that the slave masters did? And then have the nerve to sit up on a damn Forbes magazine and act like you made it out at the expense of somebody else, when I could have been proud of Yo Gotti being on that Forbes. He's a Memphian, but he ain't do it right. They didn't do it right. They built their foundation on sand. And as I say, anything that's built on sand can't stand. The first strong wind that comes along, it tears that whole sand house down. They didn't do it right. And that's the reason why people can see, even if they can't see it crumbling physically, those who got that third eye that's in tuned to whatever God they serve, they can see it spiritually. They didn't do it right. They didn't put right into the atmosphere. They knew damn well that killing that boy, it was nothing right about it. I don't care what Young Dolph said. He ain't do nothing to make them kill him. They wanted to put out that lie about he did something. I know the insurance agent said that, and I believe somebody told the insurance agent that Young Dolph and them did something to Black Youngster's brother, but it was a damn lie. It was a lie. I believe there was something that was told to the insurance agent to try and justify, because Black Youngster got to deal with himself. He having nervous breakdowns and shit. He trying to rationalize why he even in it. Why did I do it? Because he didn't even have no issues with Young Dolph. Isn't that something when you have to try to fake to yourself that somebody did something to you because you know you was just that wrong? You got to psych yourself out like this man really did something to you. That's a prison in your mind right there. But I think it's a shame. Like I said, hey, it never should have happened. It never should have. And it don't seem like there are any resolutions. And I shouldn't be a Black woman that's on here. I shouldn't be one of the only Black ones because, you know, everybody want to ride the fence. I ain't no damn fence rider. I stand on the side of what's right. As I always say, you got folks that ride the fence so much they got splendors up their ass. They wants to sit on the fence all the time. I don't deal with fence riders. As my dad used to always say, if you're sitting on the fence, I'm gonna push you over to the other side. I don't want you on my side. And so you got everybody that don't want to stand for nothing. If you got the ear of somebody, you need to be trying to tell them. As I always say, when I was working at the PD, when I started working in the chief's office, I knew God had put me there for a reason, and I wasn't no damn yes person. So they respected me. I didn't stay in their business, but what I do understand about men that make it to the top is that they're always troubled because it's always somebody aiming for their spot. And so what happens is people are so insecure, instead of doing what's right, they're always bringing them garbage to try and solidify their position. And so when they would come to me and ask me something, because they would be troubled all the time because it's lonely at the top. I'm going to tell you that right now. I've worked around powerful men. I know it is. I had a daddy that was at the top. My daddy stayed troubled, but he knew how to wear it. It ultimately wore his health down. And the reason why I say he was powerful, he won an election for 20 years. Couldn't nobody touch him. They tried to beat him. Couldn't nobody. He stayed in his position longer than anybody. He won every time. And so when I was working at the police department, when I was working in the office with the chiefs, God didn't put me there for me to be screwing them. He put me there so when they got troubled enough to ask me a question, well, what you think about this? Yeah, they was used to people being agreeable. And I would say, no, Chief, how you going to do that? How you going to put a man out of a job? I don't agree with that. I was not put there to be agreeable. I was not put there to walk around in my heels, although I was, and lay on my back and be screwing them. I was put there to be a strong black woman to help these black men to be a voice of reason when asked. And so we got too many people that's agreeable because they don't want to relish in their power. Well, if I say something, they're going to put me out of my position. Well, what you there for? What are you there for? And oftentimes they put you out of your position anyways, and you wonder why. Well, I did everything they said. Well, you weren't doing what you were supposed to do, because when you're in a place, a position with a powerful person, it ain't about you. It's about helping other people, and folks forget about that. And so now all this stuff is happening. Folks want to play like they so damn loyal to somebody else, when the truth of the matter is they was wrong for setting that boy up and killing him. And now they mad because people saying there must be justice for Young Dolph. Okay, that's what they mad for now. But the laws of the earth is whatever you sow, that's what you're gonna reap. They sowed them seeds. Okay, they sowed those seeds. But anyways, you guys, I enjoyed being on here with you guys tonight. I know y'all wanted me to stay on all night. I gotta prepare myself to I gotta go out on a case in the morning, and then I gotta go down to Covington to the bonding company. So I'll be gone all day tomorrow. But when I get home tomorrow, I'm gonna try to get up early enough to do some videos. I gotta eat. I'm hungry. I have not eaten. I got to get up early enough. As a matter of fact, I'm going to look at some stuff tonight, because I've been looking at like some missing persons. Y'all know I love those. And it was a one of the bigger vlogs. They gave me a shout out for a story that I did. I was like, oh my God. When people started sending it to me, I was like, oh my God, I started crying, because I had worked on that story so much. I know that woman's husband killed her. And she could not, because she was a black woman, she could not get any coverage. And I'm so happy that some of the bigger vlogs are picking it up now. And the girl shouted me out and put my TV show up there on her show and everything, and my website. I was crying. I was like, oh my God. So I've been looking at some missing persons cases and stuff, and I'm getting back into that, because I was doing that. I did that on my TV show every day for 7 years, and I got totally drained. Okay, I got totally drained. So I'm gonna look at some of that tonight, and I'll probably put some videos up in the morning, because I already know that I ain't gonna leave. I probably won't get home until about 7 o'clock tomorrow night. I gotta be out at 7, and I won't get back home until 7. But I love you guys. I want you guys to have a good night. Make sure you pray when you get off of here. Please like, share, and subscribe if you would like to support the channel. You can support the channel via Cash App. Shout out to my moderators for doing an awesome job. As always, shout out to my subscribers. I love you guys. You rock. Okay, I'll talk to you later.